Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests that have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Fitness Podcast, your source for all things fitness. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at Ask Adam Torres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so I have Jamie Speiser on the line. He's CEO over at Precision Fitness and Spa. Jamie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Adam. Thanks. I appreciate the opportunity to be on here.
All right, so I'm excited to get into today's topic. So we're going to talk about nutrition advice and fad dieting. I mean, we got a lot of stuff to cover here. But before, just to get us started, tell us a little bit more about Precision Fitness and Spa and what makes your organization different.
So me and my wife, Jennifer Speiser, created Precision Fitness and Medical Spa about 6 years ago. We're located in St. Louis, Missouri. Our thing is we really wanted to do things a little bit different, and that was treat the body as a whole. And we're a personal training studio that does integrative nutrition and health, and we compile that along with the spa side. And this allows us to deliver better care for our patients because overall the skin is an organ and it does tell a story.
That's awesome. And I think it's a great transition. So let's just dive right into today's topic. So we want to talk a little bit more about, when this comes out, so this should be out by New Year's. So we're recording this end of November. So just in time for everybody in their New Year's resolutions by the time this thing comes out. So that being said, let's get into these fad diets. Like, are diets failing people or are people failing the diets? I mean, I know it's a controversial topic. Where do you want to start with this one?
I think overall, we'd have to admit that, there's a lot of resources for nutrition out there. And I think they all do work in some format, but, what is the one common denominator? And that is the individual doing the nutrition program, whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's keto, whether it's paleo, whether it's a plant-based, they all still require some form of sacrifice, commitment, and consistency. And that's where I think where people are just falling short on the diet. It's not the nutrition sometimes falling short. It's more of the person not giving that nutrition program the time that it needs to work. Now we can be specific, like what we do at Precision. We use blood work to help us kind of guide us in the direction we need to go to. So we know if someone, is insulin resistant through blood work, then we know that they need to be on a lower carb diet. Or if we know they have, a fatty liver and stuff, we can address those issues. But I think when people are just jumping from nutrition program to nutrition program, it ultimately comes down to, is that person giving it an honest effort?
So what kind of tips would you give somebody? Because obviously nobody's doing that on purpose, right? Like they want to, people want to stick to things, they want to try. And you've been in this business for a long time. So what are some of those things or tips that you've seen that just help, people stay on that fitness wagon, if you will?
The big thing that I have seen that we coach our clients on is we really try to dig into what is the motivation and what ultimately is the why. I think the why is the strong motivator, because why do we do anything in life? Why do we get up and go to work? And when we're sick, we're tired, we don't feel good, we'd rather be on vacation. The money is the motivator. We need the job to pay the bills, to afford the things we want in life. So, if you're basing your why on fitness and nutrition, all about how you look, and it is ultimately, I think, where people are going to fall short, because you need a stronger why, because, just because you want to be in shape doesn't mean life stops. And you're still going to have holiday parties. You're still going to have nights out, date nights, and you're going to have parties and stuff to go to. So at some point, you got to learn how to make it all work. You got to learn how to make your fitness life blend in with your social life and, ultimately your family life too, because it all plays a role. And the way I kind of help people with that is we all know the power of being broke. We've all been broke, or we've all lived paycheck to paycheck at some point in our life. So we know what it's like to live on a tighter budget than when your expenses are down and you have more. So that's the kind of way I look at nutrition is if you ultimately need to lose weight because of a medical reason or because you ultimately want to look or feel better, then one, you got to have a strong enough why to justify the money you're going to spend, the time and the effort that you're going to do it on, the supplements, the gym memberships, and all that stuff. But you also got to come back to the consistency on that part. And you basically got to run yourself on a tighter budget when you want to achieve those results.
Let's talk about it from the trainer side of things for a moment, because this is a fitness podcast and there's people listening from both sides of the spectrum. So there's people that are fitness enthusiasts and then there's also fitness professionals out there. So I know you work with both, obviously. How do you really separate yourself as a trainer out there in the market?
The big thing is I've put a lot of work over the last 20 years in really trying to learn all formats of training. I've also tried to learn all formats of nutrition. I'm not a one size fit all. We customize our program based on the individual. And, my advice to trainers is like, if you're going to try to be a plant-based nutrition coach, then, there's some obstacles you got to overcome. One, you got to be very good at what you do, and you're fighting in a market that's saturated with online business and stuff. So, you really kind of narrow down your market. So instead of just trying to do a one-size-fits-all program, really step out of your comfort zone and learn other ways of doing nutrition. And the same thing with training. There's always new innovative ways of coming out with new exercises, and there's new equipments. And when you learn that stuff, don't come back to your client and throw up on them with all the new information that you have. Slowly integrate that into your new program. And that's the one big thing that I see where trainers and nutrition coaches or registered dietitians get into is they're just locked into one particular type of program. They're not diversifying themselves to a bigger playing field with clients, and they're limiting themselves down, and I think they're limiting their clients.
Well said. And so, Jamie, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on Precision Fitness and Med Spa, or they want to connect with you and your team, I know you left some locations there and a little bit of the setup, but let's do that one more time while people finally have their pen and paper or wherever they're taking notes at. So how do people connect, and where the locations and all that good stuff?
So you can go to precisionfitnessandspa.com. You can go to Precision Fitness STL for IG or Facebook. And we are located in St. Louis, Missouri, and we have another location in Perryville, Missouri.
Fantastic. Well, Jamie, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and all the great stuff that you're doing over at Precision Fitness. Definitely great stuff you're doing for your clients and also for, the fitness industry as a whole. So thank you for that. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Fitness, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave some comments on the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Jamie, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks for your time, Adam.